Welcome back to the shipping container build. If you guys saw our last video, I got the roof completely finished. It is up, it's finished. And now I'm trying to figure out how in the heck I'm gonna close in this front section. This is gonna be a giant door that will go in after the concrete, but I'm trying to figure out this big triangle piece here and how to frame it for the sheeting, the sheet metal to connect to it. So I got a piece of 4x4. It's actually the same beam as what we used up there. And it matches up perfect. And I'm thinking if I run basically one of those down over here, one in the center and one over here, then I can take my C-channel purlin material and weld it and put it in between from here to the center one and then there to the center one, and kind of have something to screw to. So I'll put a bar up at the top and then probably one at the middle and one on the bottom. And that will give us 3 different spots to screw to in order to be able to put that sheet metal up. But that's kind of what I'm working on. I'm just keep going over in my head. Okay, what's the best way to do this? How can I, most efficiently do this? How is this going to line up? And this is definitely the tricky part of building a building without any plans, just an idea in my head. Well, folks, I'm finally getting to work. It is about 4 o'clock, and Marcy went out to lunch with one of her girlfriends, and they had a good time while they were doing that. I let the boys play outside. They took their naps, and I got the garden tilled, which is great. I've been needing to do that. So we're probably 3 weeks away from planting, I would guess. So it's good to kind of get it prepped and get it started right now. But what I'm doing, I just came to O'Reilly's, got my oil change kit for this truck. Need to change the oil on it, as well as something else. We're going to J&I again, because we always like J&I. Gonna get some screws, because I can never have enough of those apparently, and also get the piece of metal that I think we need for the front triangle welding front piece that I showed y'all earlier. So I'm gonna get that and try and hopefully get some of that put up today. I am going to be using the metal that I already have for that, so I'm gonna be reusing sheet metal for that. So I'll show you guys, there's a couple of things you have to be observant about when you do that, and so I'll show you guys the couple of steps I'm going to be making with that. Other than that though, yeah, it's just been kind of a crazy day. I feel like my days don't really get started till after nap time, but I'm ready to go now. I have to say, this is the busiest I've ever seen this place. There's probably 15 cars lined up in front and behind me. It's actually insane. Thankfully, we're getting a quick order, so hopefully it won't take too long. We just got to get one of those 4x4x20s, and then hopefully that'll be enough to do that front side. Like I was showing y'all, I think that my idea is going to work. It's going to be a little bit of welding, quite a bit of welding. Good thing I like welding sometimes. I got a measure right up here, folks. Figure out what that distance is right there, and we're going to put the first support is going to go up like this, and then down here somewhere we'll add another one on both sides. See, now I can carry it like this, and I can weld out the onward.
I can work.
If you watched a video a few days ago, we were timing Maddie on the dirt bike track, and we couldn't figure out why he goes slower one way than he does the other way. And I just figured it out. It's this jump right here. We don't really show this section of the track a whole lot, but like for reference, the shipping container's there, the house is there. So we're on the other side. The way Maverick goes faster is when he comes this way down and around the berm. The way he goes slower, which is the way the track is supposed to be built, is this way. And why he has a hard time is this is really steep, so he can't get going fast enough, and then there's no like momentum pushing him, and it's all uphill, where this way is all downhill. So we've learned, yeah, the track is more downhill going the way that he's faster at than the other way, which is mostly uphill. So in case Crandall's wondering, he's welding, so we can't go tell him. But that's why we're over here, because Crandall's welding. So we're over here. The boys are over here doing some drills. Well, they were. Honey, you ruined the game, kiddo. That's not nice. Can you set it back up? Hey, dude. Mavi, when you do it, you got to keep your feet up, okay? Crandall's over here welding. So we're trying to keep them. Nope, stay over here. We're trying to keep them on this side of the shipping container so they can't see. Turn around. We're not going to go over here while Dad is working. It's too, guess why? Can Mama tell you why? When Daddy welds, it's hot on our eyes. Okay? Okay, so we need to stay over here or we need to go inside. Which one do you want to do? Do you want to go inside or do you want to play over here? Okay. Oh, sorry, buddy. Mama pushed you a little bit. Hey. Honey. You want to go on the dirt bike track?
Yeah.
Okay, go over that way. How about you set back up the thing and do it again? He asked him how long he was going to be, and he said, like 2 days. And I said, no, Crandall. How long are you going to be welding? And he's like, a while. Welding is the most inconvenient thing with kids. Okay, go that way.
No. No.
Race. Ready, set, go. Oh my gosh, what is he doing? That's freaking terrifying. And of course, that strap is like just long enough that it hangs and he can step on it and then pull the welder down. You're stepping on that orange strap. Well, we're gonna go inside, Maddie, and we're gonna make dinner.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
No, Mama.
I know you guys want to play out here, but it's too hard with data welding. Oh, he just turned the welder off.
This evening out here is absolutely fantastic. I was supposed to go in and make dinner, but I was just like, Marissa, I just got to keep working. Like, it's so nice out here. There's no wind. It's like 70 degrees. So she's going to go feed the boys something else for dinner. We'll still have we're actually having venison steaks and green beans. So that's going to be good. I got that welded. There's still a little bit more welding to do on it, but I had to jump down because it popped the breaker for the extension cord and stuff. I'm so excited to have the electrical in. We got it all here yesterday, but I'm still waiting to hear back when we're going to get the skid steer next week's, or not the skid steer, the excavator, which will be next week sometime. So what I want to do, and I need a tape measure, dang it, is I'm going to go over to the extra metal I have. I think it's just galvanized, so we're going to be painting it after we put it up. But I've got some galvanized metal over there, and I'm going to be reusing that to do this section here, or probably this whole front wall, honestly. I think it's going to work just fine, but we're going to go take a look at it. And the biggest thing is I don't want to have to mess with the screw holes from when it was screwed up originally. So what I'm going to try and do is match the spacing, because I've got to run a stringer that goes horizontal across here to screw the sheet metal into. So if I can make it work to where I basically can say, okay, the holes are 20 inches apart, let's put our purlins at 20 inches apart, and then I can just use the exact same screw holes that were there originally. So that's the goal, but I got to go over here and check it really quick. Oh, the grass is starting to green up. I still got to get on and fix this greenhouse. Another something to fix. Here it is. Here's all my purlins. Here's the sheet metal. And there's a bunch of conduit and all sorts of other extra metal. This is like my metal shop, I guess. Oh my gosh, Goose, what are you doing? Goose, no. What the heck? What have you been doing back there? Chewing on my deer heads? What are you doing? So yeah, these are just galvanized sheets here. Oh wow, that length is 50 inches. 50 inches. Okay, so that's a 50-inch purlin. Give or take a little bit. About 50 inches. Okay, so let's run back over there. It's like a good and a bad thing. That's a good thing because that spacing is so far. Like on my shop, it's 20 inches, so it's half. Which means twice as many screws, twice as many purlins, etc., etc. Being that these are 50-inch, that could actually be really beneficial because I can do, I think I want to do more than every 50 inches, although I might not need to. And that will give me a little bit of adjustability, I guess, as far as actually putting up the purlins. what I may do is... Uh-oh, the boys are outside. One of them's in a deck. Hey! Are you boys supposed to be outside? Are you supposed to be outside? Did Mama say you could come out here? Okay, let's go to timeout. I know, Harvey doesn't even have pants on. Let's go. They grabbed all the clay pigeons in the box in there and smashed them all. Really? Yeah. In the shop, in the building over there. Today? I don't know, I just noticed it. Go, stinkers. Go, go, go. Oh my gosh. What a joke. So what I think I'll do is I'll put the bottom of our trim right here and then measure up 50 inches and mark a line. And that's where our purlin going across will attach. And so I can measure basically also, I think over on this side, measure 50 inches down, wherever that lines up, and that's where I'll put the next vertical piece. And then obviously as it tapers down, it's gonna be less than 50 inches. And so then it will be a little bit different. But for the main area right here, I think that'll work. Marcy's having to chase the boys around the car to get them in the house. That's actually hilarious. Okay, so I got a 50-inch mark, which is right here. So if I eyeball that, 50 inches, where's that gonna end up? Right on that beam right there. So that one just needs to, that other vertical basically needs to come back one and then be welded on there. And that's where this will go across and connect to. I don't know if this is making any sense for y'all, but if you stick around long enough, you'll see what I'm talking about. So there's another YouTuber, Jonas Marcinko, I think is how you say his name, who built a hangar last year or the year before that. And I am going to be copying the type of hangar door that he built for this shop. I was originally going to do a bifold door, which means basically the door's like this and it folds and that's how it opens. Now we're changing it to a single door that will open and go like this. Kind of hard to explain, but you guys will see it when we get to that point. So what I'm trying to figure out is how I trim out the doorway with the metal and everything in order for it to fit and seal off and look good. So I just watched this video and trying to figure that out, and it looks like what I got to do is take this C-channel, weld it to the inside of the beam so that I can screw my metal up to it, screw all the purlins against it, and have that metal sheeting come down. Now the door will actually be behind the beam, and when it closes, well, how can I do this? It'll come boom like this. So the door will actually be 4 inches back from exactly the front of the building, which is perfect. I didn't plan for that because originally the bifold would open the other way, but I do like this way a little bit better for the fact of having to do the finish work and the trim work on it. I think this is going to end up looking a whole lot better. So that door is going to be like this, and then when it opens, it'll go like this. Half of it will stick out this way, half of it will stick inside of the shop. So something like that if my hand was the door. I've got this 30-foot beam that I've got to get on my other 30-foot beam that is up there. And honestly, I don't know how I'm going to do this, especially by myself. But that's never stopped me before. So hold on to your seatbelts, buckle up. Let's see if I can figure this out. That was a lot of vibration. did not feel very good. Oh my gosh. I did it! Holy cow. So it's not quite long enough, so I'm going to run it down to the left side, and then I'll add an extra. To be honest with y'all, I've been pretty burned out working on this thing. Just, it's a lot. It's a lot physically, mentally, you know, calculating, figuring all this stuff out. And I'd been kind of burned out with it. Now that I'm starting to figure this part out, which is the next step, obviously, in getting this thing done, and it's starting to work, I'm actually feeling pretty excited about it. So I've got to weld that piece up there across the entire thing. Now, I'm not going to weld a constant bead all the way across. That would be stupid. But I am going to have to do, like, I don't know, a 4-inch weld every foot all the way along that. This is just purely cosmetic, for cosmetic. It's just to have something to screw the metal to. So it's not a structural piece. So it just needs to be good enough to hold the metal on there, keep the metal from blowing over or ripping off. That should work. I'm actually even going to go over and fix the other clamp so it's straight. Even though this area right here is straight, I probably need to come in here with a grinder and grind this off, but I'm going to just try welding it. If it welds, I'll weld it. Let's see. Nope, it'll work. That ain't pretty. That's better. There is some pockets, some air holes, and that's because there's paint and crap on this, and so it's not leaving the most pretty weld. I am not going to care about that. If this was an airplane I was building, it would be getting rebuilt. But this is a shop, and this is just cosmetic. It's going to get covered with tin, so I'm not going to worry about it. But that's why it doesn't look right. Well, I have to say that took quite a while, but it's welded. It was like 4 inches every foot, or every like 8 to 10 inches, all the way down. I got another like 6 feet to add, so I'm gonna go grab another piece of the purlin and get that welded up there. I'm excited. Tomorrow we're gonna be ready to actually, you know, put the metal up here, I think. Still got a lot to get to that point, but I can now see how I'm gonna do it, which is obviously super motivating. It's good to have a plan and have it start to come together like this, so I'm excited about it. Ah, I don't have batteries. We're just about finished up here with this. I'm pretty ecstatic about that. We'll have something to screw to. All right, that's gonna do it. Heck to the yes. That was a lot of back and forth in my head about how do I do this? How do I do this? How do I do this? And once I nailed down what door I'm for sure doing, it kind of helped to try and figure out, okay, you know, what's the next step in this? We got close. I've still got to weld that vertical piece up at the top, and then I've got to weld one here and one down there, I believe, as well. And then my purlin that will go across this. Now, I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to weld similar channel across this between these two containers. Well, between each two corners of the containers so that I can screw into the purlin here. The metal paneling will come here, and then it will drop down, and then it will come here. So there'll be a step up right here. Actually, that step up will be right here because we're going to add another pillar that goes all the way down to the concrete and comes up. So that step will be over here. I got to keep that in my mind. Otherwise, I'm going to cut it here and actually need it here. So I'm going to have to measure and mark that out, draw a line, and then cut my metal to that when I get to that point. But this looks absolutely fantastic. Stoked about it, and excited to get back out here tomorrow. And I would love to get this kind of finished. So we'll see how that goes. It's going to be really tricky holding up the middle. I'm going to have to hold up one of these or jig one of these up here to weld it in between the two posts. I don't know how in the world I'm going to do that. But I'm going to give it my best shot and come up with a way to make it work. Get this thing starting to get closed in. I didn't even really think about it. I mean, I knew it, but I didn't know it, I guess. I can't close in the back wall because we don't have any of the vertical supports that are going to go there. Similar to this one, right? Imagine this beam going all the way to the ground in the 3 spots. 1, 2, 3. So I can't do those until we have the concrete because they're actually going to get welded to a metal plate that will get anchored into the concrete. But I can get this whole front done before we do concrete. Now we are getting close to being ready to do concrete. I am just still waiting on the excavator to show up. So that's kind of what is on hold for the electrical and the dirt work over here before I can put in the concrete and start getting rebar. I mean, it's going to take me a couple of days to lay out all the rebar, I think. But in order to get to that point, I need the excavator. So that's all right. I got plenty to do, and this is going to be a big part of it. So I'm excited to see what this looks like tomorrow. See just what all I'm able to get done on it. So thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it. A little bit shorter video today. It took me a while to kind of get my gears turning and get the ball rolling. But now I've got a plan, and we're going to execute it. Thanks for watching. We'll see y'all tomorrow.